Solving equations with fractions and decimals. We can solve equations like this, leaving the decimals and the fractions in them. To do this, we use our regular process for solving equations, which is first, collect your like terms together. We don't have any parentheses to get rid of, but we do have like terms. So if we get our like terms together, on the first side of the equation, I could collect the 0.8m minus 0.5m. 8/10 m minus 5/10 m would be 3/10 m. So I have 0.3m plus 0.4 equals 0.5m. Okay, now I need, because I have m on both sides of the equation, I need to get the m's on the same side of the equation. So I'm going to subtract 0.5m from both sides. That's going to get this m term over here with the other one. So at 0.3m minus 0.5m, you line up your decimal points. That will give me 0.2m, and it will be a negative 0.2m, plus 0.4. So I have negative 2/10 m plus 4/10 equals, on this other side I have 0. Don't just quit because you get a 0. 0 is a number, so we can still continue working this. We wanted to get our m by itself over here. So I've got the m term here, but I need to get rid of the term that doesn't have an m in it. So I'm going to subtract 4/10 from both sides of the equation. So that will give me negative 2/10 m equals negative 4/10. Now I want m by itself. So to get m by itself, I need to divide by whatever is being multiplied by it. Here I have negative 2/10 times m, so I want to divide both sides by negative 2/10. So that would give me m equals, negative divided by negative will be positive. 0.4 divided by 0.2 is 2. In that problem, I kept the decimals in there, and I worked it with the decimals. It wasn't terribly messy to do that. But you can also clear away the decimals. This is the same equation. This time I'm going to clear the decimals away by multiplying both sides of my equation by a power of 10. In this particular equation, I want to multiply both sides of my equation by 10. Because here, I only have one digit behind the decimal point. So the furthest it goes back is the 10ths column in every term. So I want to multiply 10 times every term. 10 times 0.8m is going to move the decimal point to the right one place. So that will give me 8m. Then I'll multiply the 10 times the 0.5m. So that'll give me minus 5m. Then I'll multiply my 10 times my 0.4. So that'll give me plus 4. Then on the other side, my 0.5m times 10 will give me 5m. So now I have an equation that doesn't have any decimals in them. If the decimals tend to throw you off, just multiply by something to get rid of your decimals. If I had had 2 digits behind the decimal, say if I had had a 0.81, I would multiply by 100 because the furthest decimal value is in the hundredths column. Here I only needed to use 10. Now let me finish solving this equation. I can collect 8m minus 5m is 3m. So I have 3m plus 4 equals 5m. Now I want to get my m's together. So I'll subtract 5m from both sides. That'll give me negative 2m plus 4 equals 0. Then I subtract the 4 from both sides. Get negative 2m equals negative 4. So finally, I divide by negative 2. So I end up with m equals positive 2. Same thing I did, same thing I got when I solved it with the decimals in there. This equation has fractions in it. And we can clear the fractions away just like we do with the decimals. Here, what we want to multiply by is the common denominator of all the fractions. So if we look at this problem, we have a 2, a 3, and a 3, and a 3 in the denominators. So my least common denominator, my least common multiple of the denominators would be 6. So I'm going to multiply both sides of my equation here by 6. So I'm going to do it one term at a time so you'll see what happens. I'll multiply the 6 times the 1/2. So that means I have to do 6 over 1 times 1 over 2. So let's see, 6 and 2 share a common factor of 2. So I can reduce that into 3 times 1 on top over 1. So that becomes just 3. Now I want to multiply my 6 by my negative 4/3 x. Now here I could do the same sort of thing with the 6 and the 3. 3 is a common factor there. So the 6 will become a 2, and 3 will become a 1. So in the numerator, I have 2 times negative 4 is negative 8 times x. You should end up with just 1s in your denominator. Now I need to go to the other side of the equation and do the same thing. I need to multiply the 6 times the 7x. There's nothing there to cancel, so that's just going to be 42x. Then I need to multiply the 6 times the negative 2/3 x. Now I can, again, reduce the 6 and the 3 so that I'll have in the numerator the 2 times the negative 2 will give me negative 4x. And on the bottom, again, it all cancels out to give me a 1 in the denominator. And then finally, I want to multiply the 6 over 1 times the 5/3. So I'll reduce the 6 and the 3 again. So that's going to give me 2 times 5 over 1. So 2 times 5 is 10. Now, I still have the same number of terms in this equation, but I don't have any fractions in here. So that's what I was trying to accomplish. Now, I solved this equation by collecting my like terms here. 3x minus 8x will equal 42 minus 4 is 38. So I'll have 38x plus 10. Now let's see, I want to get all the x's on one side of the equation. So let me subtract the 38x. So this will give me 3 minus 46x. Then on the other side of the equation, I just have the 10. Now I'm trying to get my x by itself, so that means I need to get rid of my numeric term, my 3. I do that by subtracting 3 on both sides. So I have, let me come over here, negative 46x equals 7. Then I divide by my negative 46. So I get x equals negative 7 over 46.